power. I thank the universal truth and the absolute laws of nature for guiding me, protecting me, and giving me the strength to endure the imperfect. I shall attack with vigor, making progressive moves. A divine mind knows, a divine mind shows. All things work in divine order. All things work in divine order. All things work in divine order. Salute. Peace and power to the people that struggle. What's going on? Well, I told y'all that I would pick another day to do another book. Jay Lombardi, salute, salute, salute. Brandon, salute, salute, salute. As you come in, share the video, share the live, share the live. Hey T, what up T? Share the live. As I promised you all, I would begin this segment because as we see, we can't get away from the justice system. No matter how hard we make an attempt, we still have, our people volunteering themselves into modern day slavery. Evelyn, salute. And Mr. Niece, oh my goodness. Morning just got brighter. Salute, salute. What's going on? Erie County, what up? What up, Greg? What up? What up? Top of the AM. Top of the AM. Thank you, Mike. Oh, the UK, nothing. Salute. Kenny Mack. DC, what up? What up? What up? Brooklyn Knight, what up? Peace, peace. As I told you, I would begin another day. It's a grind. Peace, 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 Born. It's a grind. I'm not gonna hold y'all. It's time consuming. Top of the morning. For those who weren't abreast of what took place Saturday night, we didn't have book club. I had a crisis that was going on with actually one of the most frequent viewers that we have, and I had to address that. This was a life or death situation, and sometimes those things take longer. There's really no time limit on it, but sometimes those things take longer than anyone can imagine. And I happen to be speaking with this individual probably about 3 hours. But in the end, we reached a point that we were able to save a life. So book club got preempted. Greg Simmons, salute, salute, much appreciated. What's your opinion on that Kendrick Lamar? I'm not a fan of Kendrick like that. I don't think he's incredible. Alright. It's a bit gimmicky. Didn't seem genuine. And y'all can screen record it. All of them dudes in LA know what happened to Nip. They know who killed Nip. And until they do something about it, I think any references to him is disingenuous. I have to listen to it a few more times to see if I'm intrigued by the cadence of it. It is what it is, but we'll have a build on that. We'll have a build on that. Again, that was gratifying for me to have someone reach out to me for assistance when they were in a dire situation. I was definitely humbled by it. Not that it hasn't happened before, but when people are in a time of need and they know they can get assistance, they know they can get help, and they reach out to you, and you're able to provide that help, no feeling like that in the world. None. None. So I definitely appreciated that. That the Queen Comrade reached out and that we were able to resolve it, even if it was, for that short time period. At least, us working together and the brother working together as well. We were able to resolve it. We were able to resolve it together, and it gave everyone a sense of peace, and we was able to get through the night after that, because it was tense. There was some very tense moments there where we didn't believe that we would be able, to to talk the brother down. So, being that there was no book club Saturday, and of course we're going to, make sure that we do what we do this coming Saturday. As I said prior, I will start getting into my memoir at the time that was self-published, and many may not have had the opportunity to read. As I said before, it's on Amazon somewhere. There may be a few sites that people are able to pick it up, so I would have to re-edit it, repackage it, and use another outlet to get it to folks. But again, I initially used Author House, which turned into First Books, which turned into something else. So they probably still have it out there for various prices. But again, I don't get anything from it. Contrary to people's belief, when you use these different vehicles, you don't get anything, man. I don't care if you sell 10,000, 20,000. I have never seen a check from anything on the internet, which is why I always say I work for mine. I provide a service, I work for it. Should you want to donate, Cash App is there. $ Bliz155. And I'm going to begin by reading excerpts from it. It was two working covers. It was this cover here, right? That cover there, right? Thug Love Superman, A Letter from Up North. That was the second cover. I do believe I have the original cover. Give me a second. Oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah. Nope. Where is the original cover? I have an original cover, because my people keep all of my stuff. Y'all hear me? I know y'all hear me. Y'all hear me? Yup. Okay, I know my people always got, on our personal shelf where we have everything. All of our library, which is just extensive. Of course, they put my titles up there. But which is crazy, I do not have any more. The All-American Justice System Handbook. I gotta get that. I gotta get more hard copies. I ran out of hard copies like that. So this is the original. This is one of the original covers for Thug Love Superman. You see how basic it was, right? This was when I first touched town in 2004. Came right out of the gate, self-published, very basic. I had a printer. Oh, I was killing them. I did like maybe 10,000 out of the trunk. And that was just really in Brooklyn, Queens, and a little bit of Manhattan, Long Island. I didn't even get to the Bronx and upstate New York. So this right here, like I said, you may be able to get this online at Amazon. If you in New York, if you're in Brooklyn, I have about maybe 30 copies somewhere that we could go hand in hand and you can get it signed. But this is the original. You can see the state greens. You can see the state boots, right? You definitely can see the eyes, right? And see them boots? Every 6 months, they give you a new pair. And that's all I wore for 10 years. Wasn't no Timbs, wasn't running my people around for all these different sneakers and all that. The state provides you with 3 hots in the cot and that's what I did. That's the punishment. That's how I was able to make sure that once I was released, I never went back. Because you have to feel every second of that shit. You have to feel every second of it in order to remain honest and know that you were captured at one point. So that's what I did. And anybody that was with me would tell you that. I wore them state boots on visits. I may have had a different shirt, but them state boots was there for almost a decade. Wasn't trying to be comfortable in that bullshit. Nah, don't free no Young Thug. Fuck Young Thug. And I mean that with everything. When you do shit to gear people in the wrong direction, that's what the hell you get. And I definitely hope Doggy wants to build on that. Definitely hope we need that. Fuck them. They're going to get whatever they hand call for. Excuse my language. But that's what it is. I don't care about nobody that's involved or still involved in some type of street activity. When they already, quote unquote, got to the bag. It makes no sense. And as long as our children are influenced by that, you are doing a disservice. You are doing a disservice, and it was purposeful. Purposely wore dresses. Purposely kept that in his music. Nah. Not going to do that. We're not going to say free him, and we got Mutulu Shakur still locked up. Soon Diata, Leonard Peltier, Assata still on the run. Nah. Not here. No. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. Not going to do that. No. They got to go through the fire, baby. So again, salute. Again, this is another section that I'm going to incorporate as much as I can. Like I said, I don't eat off of social media, and I'm going to show you on my Instagram, right? Everybody, got my Instagram. Moderators put the Instagram up, put the Cash App up. Again, I'm going to show you. I took a screenshot. Most of my videos are not monetized on IG or on YouTube. So trust, I don't eat off of this shit. But I'm going to make an attempt to give as much as I can on here, right? And this is just another section. So we have Saturday Night Book Club where we're going to go over various titles. Today I came on, this is Tuesday at 10:30. I'm going to be as disciplined as I can and try Tuesdays to give you as much as I can of my title, my memoir, because I know it may be out of print. Maybe out of print. So again, based on what we get coming through, I know people sell their joints for 10, 20, some people even right now in the game, $25, trying to capitalize off of it. Listen, I'm going to give as much as I can. Cash App is whatever. And we know shit is tight all the way around the board. All the way around the board. So it's very, very foul and disingenuous to even fix people's mouth to come up with these enormous, it's just crazy. So again, I work for the people, therefore whatever come through. All right? I don't believe in feeding these corporations. So if there is support coming from YouTube, let it be in the form of a like and a share. Super chats is fine, but again, 40 or more percent of what you give, YouTube takes that. So Cash App would be preferable. And all my services from anger management, domestic violence, parenting skills, that's separate. DM me, email me, reach out, and we'll set fees for how that is attacked. So let's start. Let's get busy. Again, I'm not one to critique without being critiqued. All right? I'm not one to critique without being critiqued. So I told you, I've learned many lessons. And again, posing and carrying on, nobody's supposed to see you disrobed. So, listen, people, I know. I'm telling you, I've learned from mistakes. I made mistakes, not like I wasn't. I was disrobed on this cover. I'm not going front. This cover here was real crazy. It was real crazy. I had various pictures of various stages of my life. So, of course, you got the army picture. You would have one picture of me up top with my sister. Of course, you have me at an adolescent. And you had the original cover, right? That's the cover with the state boots and all that. I was good with that. Little arm, little flex. You see the state boot. You see the intensity. You dig? This one was a little different. I was in a town, and at that point, remember most of the Caribbean splashes and things of that nature was going on. They had these promo posters everywhere. So we had a promo poster for the book, and this was the poster, and that started selling. I don't know why, but hey, it is what it is. I doubt you're gonna see that cover ever again. We don't even have no more of those. So again, peace, beautiful spirit. What up, what up? So again, how many likes is showing? 63. Nadeem, 63. Cut it out, Jasmine. You want to see, huh? You keep acting up. You want to see, all right? So we're going to start with this right here. Maserati salute. Right? Thug Love Superman, a letter from up north. And this is what it is. Matter of fact, even read the back. Cut it out, Jay. Yes, they giggling. Don't giggle. From the streets of East New York to behind the walls of New York State Correctional Facilities, Thug Love Superman takes you on a journey into the minds of our street warriors. It's a first-hand look into a world that has been plagued with stereotypes and negativity. Thug Love Superman is the view of the world through the eyes of a man determined to survive. It's hip-hop, self-love, and strength that gives this man the will to survive. This intricately woven story of a man's will to survive in a place where he is seen as less than a man. Perseverance and commitment to himself, those he loved, and his belief in the hip-hop culture is the heartbeat of this soul-searching story. It forces the reader to see the truth behind the myths. The story is told with dignified anger and inspiration to all of those who have experienced this life, to the mothers, fathers, wives, and children who have walked in these shoes. This is the story of hope and the endless road to truth and commitment to self-love. All right? And see, this barcode, all that. It's not bullshit. I was independent, doing what I did, right? So, again, let's begin with the introduction. And salute to all those who are in the building. Peace, Ninth, Main Man, Dev, what up, salute. Hornet, salute. All right, let's get it in. We 20 minutes in. I got a session. So we're going to do as much as we can. Again, this is another piece of the work, which is prevention. And if I can get people engaged in this, man, if we can prevent that, and people always put us in a space where we're saying, oh, we don't need that, right? Just like this new critical race theory is not. It's a need because, look, our people is still running into that. Still bumping their heads and running headfirst into this system that we supposed to already know about. We're supposed to know about the traps. But there's always people who challenge it in the wrong way. Zulu, what's up? So this is why I penned it. So people can get an understanding of where they are and how they participate in their own demise. All right? Introduction. The plantations here in the Unified States of North America exist for the sole purpose of keeping the rich several steps ahead of the poor. These are brutal places where women and men often fall into themselves, usually looking for the same false sense of security that snatches our kids towards gang life. The colors are bland, the tastes are awful, and the stink is always present. We hear things that we shouldn't, and all emotions are felt to the extreme. There's no medium range. Of all the emotions to touch base with, love has to be the most difficult. The majority will never fully understand it. Only few will ever feel a portion of it. The essence of before, now, and later has given me the awareness to know love, give love, and receive love. From plantation to plantation, my spirit has collided with another's and bonded. Here is a letter to one of them. As you notice, I keep saying plantations because that is exactly what it is when we're looking at penitentiaries, when we're looking at correctional facilities, when we're looking at prisons. Those are nothing but plantations. If they weren't, it would just be punitive. It wouldn't be a space where you have labor taking place, and labor that is benefiting this corporation, private entities within this corporation, which is really something that is not right and exact when we say private. Because if you're private and you're here and you're still working in conjunction with this government, with the government corporation that is the United States, you're not really private. They still work for you. If you think Big Bezos and Gates and all these dudes are not who drives the government and works with it and makes sure policies are in place to keep them super wealthy, then you're mistaken. So it's not a private entity. This is just a term that they use so you can have this false sense of separation. But the prison industrial industry is not only government ran, but privately owned by that 1%. All right? So that's what it is. They are plantations. So if we're dealing with the plantations of where we live, right? Where we are, state by state, city by city. You understand? If you do the research, if you do the time and take the time to engage in the research, everybody can point to a direct plantation owner. You can go. I don't care if you're in Brooklyn, New York. I don't care if you're in Tallahassee, Florida, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Oakland, California, based on Social Security, zip code, there is somebody who owns that land, that space and land. And if you're working on it, whether you're working privately in your own entrepreneurship or you're working for a corporation, you can point to your master who owns you, or you are working in conjunction with, so he's able to own something else. It's just research. All you have to do is take the time. They own the politicians and everything. That is just what capitalism is. If you had the time and the know-how, you could point fingers to your master and petition for your freedom papers. Just is what it is. So when you're in these prisons, right, on these plantations, it's a horrible feeling once you are woke, once you wake up out of the stupor of believing that we are all free on this planet. That shit died. It died. It died. People need to understand that. And as technology grows, the ability to shield, right? The ability to put a false gaze on what freedom is diminishing. It's just people not willing to accept it. And it's a false sense of security that comes from gang life, a false sense of security that comes from joining organizations, right? Fraternities, sororities, political clubs, unions. That false sense of security, that love, that comradeship that wanes whenever the repression comes. Very few remain solid within these groupings once that boot of oppression comes. It ain't no joke. And that's what we run from when you run away from your home or from whatever thematic events shaped you as a person. You dig? It's hard to find that love, but you get it, and it's genuine when people are in the struggle together, especially when you're in the struggle to name yourself and be free from whatever it is that you have going on. And I have several comrades from behind the walls. That there was a great admiration for how we stood tall in the mix of that. And this is a letter to them. V. Gibb. Let's count it, V. Gibb. 298 days sober. Woo! God damn it. We moving, V. Gibb. We moving. All right. And this is basically a letter. I mean, it's a memoir now. It's a memoir, but it's a letter that I was writing to him. At one point, they used to allow us to correspond with each other. But the gang situation in the New York City and state prisons stopped that. Before we was able to write each other, you was able to write your co-defendant, sometime without a stamp. It smashed that. Yes, y'all. Congratulate V. Gibson. That's. Congratulate V. Gib. Give him the props and the encouragement. Give him that love. 298 days sober, clean, doing his thing. My oldest brother did 30. Youngest still in. Whole family in town did 10 years. Minimum upstate Erie County. Yeah, Buffalo is rough. I know about Buffalo. I know about Batavia. I know about all that up there. I know about them dudes. They get it in. Cock strong, too. Some of the strongest brothers I ever been around is from upstate, man. Motherfuckers rep 315 on the bench like it's nothing. I've seen them dudes doing 2 and change on shoulders. Shout out to Buffalo. Shout out to Western New York. All that upstate. I know what y'all going through. Intense repression and poverty. Stand tall, y'all. Stand tall. All right? Let's continue. What is written is personal, at the same time informative, so I do not mind sharing this part of myself with the reader. For many, it will be a first-time trip into the life of a person in bondage. For many, it will be just as ordinary as a glass of water. Either way, I ask that when read, keep in mind that it is only a letter from one human being to the next. Anyone offended by anything herein should know that that was not my intent. I'm giving the reader what I give my loved ones, which is my truth. Women and men on these plantations who happen to get a copy of this letter may ask why I did not go further when it comes to certain subject matters. Things like how absurd it is for female prison guards to promote and encourage gay life in the prisons. So much so that they sneak in lipstick, makeup, perms, and panties to these displaced men. A female who is comfortable with watching her natural partner represent himself as she would is truly sick. I do agree. Or the fact that I did not touch how ruthless the Caribbean and African pigs are, being that most, if not all of them, enjoy our pain way more than any clan pig could. Not to mention the treatment of medical staff who are always the worst. No one at the top of his or her class who could perform well in a private sector would work in a prison. Remember, this is a letter from me to one of my peoples. So often we speak on these issues that this information is owed to us. It is by no way implies that I have forgotten. As you will see, this kid is very sharp. I did not forget how important radio DJs were and still are to our culture. From the Latin Rascals to Red Alert and Mr. Magic to the awesome two, Chuck Chill Out and DJ Ali from New Jersey, way down the dial before Stretch Armstrong and Bobito was down there. I would never downplay how important G-Rap was and is to our culture. Always the image of a gangster, always heavy on the neck and wrists, and always spitting fire. As far as the West Coast spitting, I'm not from there and know little about the true foundation of the culture on that end. But I was up on it before a lot of cats. I played Ice-T, Easy, and Face when a lot of dudes didn't know where Cali and Texas was on the map. Record for record, lyric for lyric, beat for beat, I can take it back to 79 and my square is sharp and can be tested. All in all, get what you get from your journey. It should be a lot. My love extends out to reach many. And as far as the reader knows, This may be specifically for you. I have a lot of loved ones on these plantations, a lot of packages to send out, a lot of money orders as well. So, my queens and supermen, don't be stingy and read the next person's. Get your own and love yourself. Bliz. So that's the introduction. That's the introduction. See, 35 minutes in. That's 35 minutes. So you know it's going to be a while. We're going to be on this. So I'm, again, going to make an attempt for this to be every Tuesday morning. Whether I'm doing it from here or in the car, whatever, I'm going to make that attempt because, again, without me having the luxury of time and the resources to simply just sit and re-edit and use another vehicle to get it published and move, because even when I was starting this journey back in 2004, I understood the business of being a self-published author, learned, ran with the best of them, from Shannon Holmes to Travis Hunter to all these individuals that you see. I've been around them, Danielle Santiago, all of them, doing the book fairs and all that, and knowing that in the sense of literature, they don't care about our story. They don't want to hear about our story. So these major houses, Simon and Schuster and all these other publications, never cared about us. So it was a grind. And without getting any type of, upfront budget, back then I wrote this literally. Took me 3 weeks because the information was so fresh. I wrote it in time while I was in there. So by the time I touched the concrete, all I had to do was edit, form it, put it together, and get it out there. So it was no budget like they get. Nothing that they get, which is the white world, white literature. They get a budget before, just for an idea of a book. Oh, were you thinking of writing here? It doesn't work like that for us. We have to be proven a success before they even do it. And a success in their eyes has nothing to do with us lifting each other up. They don't give a damn about us. So, I understand the grind. It was hard. So now, the luxury that I have, that I had back then, I don't have now. I got to work. Right? I got clients that need to be spoke to. And, if it's an hour session and I get 4 sessions in a day, then I have to go out in the street and do some things in the community. I get peanuts. And as you see, I don't get nothing off of social media at all. That has never been my motivation. So my time, literally, I have none to waste. So that was the introduction. Let's get to the first. Remember now, this is different from book club, because here, this whole joint is actually one letter. I happen to break it up into 3 because people didn't understand how there was no chapters, anything in it. Yo, this was real. Again, we used to write each other all the time. So when I eventually was granted my appeal to get that 25 to 30 years up off me, I went from the state down to the island, and I'll get into it here, where I was on the island for actually 2 years. And I'm gonna stay, almighty. So I didn't write them in like maybe 14 days. So the letter was long. I was like, you know what? This gonna be a book, because people want to know how we speak to each other. Are there intelligent people in there? What's really going on? So it's actually one letter. That's why there's no chapters in here. So, when I stop, I stop. When we continue, I'll continue. All right? Got it? Good. It's something similar to Solar Dad, brother. No doubt, you know that, right? Prison letters. All right, so let's begin. And I'm not gonna be on long. Again, I've got a lot of other stuff to get into. Shit, I ain't even eat yet. You know, no breakfast or nothing. All right, so hold up, y'all. Hold up. Give me a second. Let me get a little comfy here. Y'all with me? Come on now. Where y'all at? Remember, come in, like, share. Moderators, y'all know. I love y'all do that. Keep doing it, LG. What's good? What's good? What's good? Hey, truth lady. Peace. Let's go. And Thug Love, before I even get anywhere else, Superman. Thug is an acronym. That's why it's printed like that. For thorough urban guerrilla. That's what thug is. Love. And I always tell you, revolution is love inspired. So Thug Love and Superman. Superman is actually how the Euros viewed us because of our ability physically. That's where the story of Superman came from. So that's what it is. Thug Love, Superman, how you? A letter from up north, all right? And that's how I always had my openings to any letter. So if anybody ever got any letters from me, they know that was my opening. So Thug Love, Superman, how you? I'm good. Yeah, I know it's been a minute since I last wrote, but you know it's never because you're not on my mind or from a lack of love. They on some new shit entirely down here. As always, they fail to realize that pressure creates diamonds. True hard rocks. So from one rock to another, bling bling. The last kite I received from you, you were doing your thing in that spot. It's sweet, right? Yeah, I know. Don't fuck it up by leaking one of those cats and getting sent to the port. Besides, you're still waiting for the decision from the appellate court. Now, my pauses are going to be a little different here because there's a lot of slang. I haven't read this in a minute. There's a lot of slang, and people from other states may not catch it. So it's going to have to be a lot of breaking down, and so we get where I'm going at. What I see, I would have to do a mean re-edit of this because this is very, very heavy in a syntax that not many going to get, right? Just like the Bible. People fail to realize that part too, that those who wrote the Bible weren't writing exact with the Latin and the English. And if Jesus in the story that they given y'all was on the run, you could only assume that they were hiding, they weren't speaking language right, it was a lot of slang, so you really shouldn't know what the hell they were speaking about to each other, because if they got caught, they was getting killed. So we don't even know if that is written in the proper context. So this I can see is a lot of slang. So what I'm saying here is that they was on some bullshit on Rikers Island. Remember, I was up north and had to come back down to the island. So it was crazy within that time frame of me being up top and coming back down. And it was a lot of pressure. It was a lot of pressure, right? The kite, the last kite. Again, if you know what it is, then you do. I'm just giving people who may not know a true understanding. A kite is a letter. So the last letter I got from him, he had moved to a different spot, which was a little bit more loosely ran than where we were at. So, you know, I heard from other people that he was doing his thing in there because the spot was sweet, you know. And when you get into a sweet spot, sometimes you just have to fall back and allow the good graces of how it's ran, you know, to, you know, keep you in a different perspective. You don't have to be as aggressive as you would be in a spot that's always on some bullshit. So I was telling them, don't leak one of those cats, which means don't bleed, don't cut, don't stab somebody and get sent to the port. At that time, Southport was a main box. They didn't have upstate yet. And since then, upstate has been closed, which is crazy. They opened a brand new box, brand new, whole jail was a box, solitary confinement, and the shit got closed already because people weren't coming to jail as much. Ain't that some shit? That's the business of it. That's how they thought that that spot would always be there. I had to end up closing it. So I didn't, I'm telling them don't go to Southport because he was still waiting for his appellate decision to come through, right? And why catch a new charge when you may end up getting freed on your initial charge? All right? I just took a 6.5 to 13. I know. But these cats were trying to go back to trial. That I was not doing. But I was willing to lay up for a few more months until they came down another year or so. 6 months at least. But I was not alone in this. And I had to, think of my co-defendant. Granted, the 6.5 is a lot less than in 1995. We are the only 2 out of 48 cats in the block to come down on an appeal. I was willing to hold out until they stated ready for trial. Shit, we was down there for 19 months already. I was back into everything. I also know when I won, and I beat these dudes. They had me and let me go. All caught up in the court system with really no way out other than digging a hole. And because of the double talk of their laws, I get to live again. That's saying that I just took a plea. I had initially, when I said a lot less than in 1995, that's when I blew trial and was sentenced to 12.5 to 25 with 3.5 to 7 on the back of that. And right then, you're looking at segment 16, 17, 18, no telling. It wasn't my first time, so there's no telling whether or not you're going to get to a parole board and get released. It was just crazy. So when the appeal came through, I said, I didn't do shit. I mean, I studied, but I wasn't the hand drafting the motions or, I was looking at a whole different argument for the appeal. But so be it. I was granted an appeal because of their laws, not because of anything I did. That whole process was them. It wasn't me. So I know when I won. When we first came down, we was granted a new trial, but the DA, a lot of legal jargon. I'll get into the legalities of it, but they was granted room to go to the higher courts, which was the highest courts in New York State Supreme Court. And that process took almost 2 years. That process almost took 2 years. So we was on the island, no bail, basically just laying up. So when the Supreme Court said, yes, these guys have to get a new trial, that's when they started giving offers. And the first offer was 8 to 16. Fuck, I'm not taking that dumb shit. Because at the time, I only had, I believe, 4 years in. So I wasn't doing that. Then it came down to 7.5 to 15. Then it came down to 7 to 14. Then I go to court one day and that was a wrap. I was, late because I'm coming from a different spot. And again, 6.5 to 13. I would have chilled for a little while, but I had made the call on the first play. I pushed the element to go to trial initially, so we ended up taking what we took, and that was it. It was a journey, learned a lot, and it wasn't like that was an immediate get out, because once we took that, I went back up top and still had a nice little minute to do before I went to the board. And you'll see later on in here that I ended up going to the board on 9/11, which resulted in another 2 years. And then after that too, went to the board again, and they denied me again. So, you know, when people throwing numbers like 8, 16, and all this other crazy shit, knowing that you're not gonna make the first board, that's crazy. Wasn't doing that. So, you know, it was crazy legally. All right. And believe me, when somebody's letting you go, get the fuck out. Get out. You ain't got to tell on nobody. Nobody telling on you. You know how you act up in the street. You know what you was doing. Listen, man, get that shit. Take that shit and run. Let me get the fuck up out of here. I ain't playing with y'all because I had already been through a 2-week sham of a trial. I know, as a matter of fact, that trial was like 3 weeks. You don't play with these people after that. That was the worst experience ever, to go through and to be found guilty on some bullshit that you really didn't do. Nah, I don't play with these folks. Fuck up out of here. You dig? So y'all, they let me live again. They gave me life again. You let me out? Okay. You'll never see me again. Ever. And they haven't. My daughter will be 17 in June. I haven't been back in 18 years. Never been back on a plantation. Never been handcuffed. Came home maxed out on parole and all that. Never seen me again. The fuck I look like going back to that bullshit? Nah, we don't do that. We don't do that. All right? I know they know who I am, what I do, what I belong to. This is why the DA went to the Court of Appeals and pressed so hard. They know who will get on the set and be progressive. They know who will and who won't be back. You dig me? All the law library in the world won't save you once the fix sets in. We don't have any time to bullshit and get only one shot at getting out before we get fucked around. That's that grand jury shit. This is why the legal aides always tell you not to go. Because once you don't get indicted, that's a wrap. I tell my peoples that on the regular. From the first time you see a judge, state on record, which means open your fucking mouth that you want to go to the grand jury. Fuck that lawyer they gave you. Don't listen to him, and don't tell him to say shit other than you wanting to testify before the grand jury. Why give him any information? Remember, the more we talk, the more they know. We have the right to remain silent, so use the science with that. When they arrest us, they claim to have a case. They don't have shit. Cats tell on themselves by speaking to lawyers, paid or otherwise. They are all going to tell the DA something he does not know. Then they throw at us that shit about anything you say in a grand jury you must stick to. Bullshit. This is what goes on. Now, different states, different municipalities have different ways that they deal with it as far as grand jury. Some states, you are not able to testify in a grand jury if the DA doesn't call you. Other states, you can push it and you want to, right? testify, to give your story. The grand jury is not like a trial jury. There's more people from 14 to 23. I mean, listen now, this is in New York. Everywhere else, I don't know. And that's what's foul about out of town. And so, they all of them interpret the Constitution different ways, and their state constitutions are ran differently. It's different. So again, I'm speaking for us. You have to push that. If you get to the grand jury and you got 23 people listening to your story, it's much better than you sitting there with only 12. And by the time you get to a jury trial or judge trial, which I damn sure advise people don't fuck with, because now it's at the discretion of this asshole. All right? Especially if he's the same judge that you went through your pre-trial hearing process with. Don't play. Unless you got money to pay his ass off. All right? But it's better to have 23 people hear your story than just 12. And the 12 that hear your story may not hear it exactly how you want it to be heard. But in the grand jury, the only thing that they tell you is whatever you say there, you must stick to. We're going to get into that. But once them 23 people vote not to indict you, oh, you out of there. The DA has to find different evidence to present to another grand jury to get you indicted. And that should be hard. It's not an easy thing. That's why nobody wants you to go through, because once you out of there, the process get messed up. All right? So this is what goes on. The police make statements, rather testify to the grand jury one way, then testify at pretrial hearings another way. But previous to both of these, they have police reports stating some other shit. Now that's 3 different conclusions to one crime. At trial, they say some other shit. And when your lawyer asks, wasn't your grand jury testimony this? They say, I don't recall. Well, that's just how we can do it. Yeah, I testified to this. What? When was that? No, I don't recall. Why can't we do that? Because a lot of us don't take the opportunity to go tell our story before the fix sets in. They get grimy, and we must too, especially in this day and time. We're getting slayed in the courts. Most arrests are not worth a damn. We tell on ourselves by speaking on prison phones, playing the give a little information game with the legal aides. If you have paid legal counsel with the investigators, everyone is part of the fix, so you cannot trust anyone. Once we get indicted, that's a wrap. Again, and you can see that the original writing of this was 2002. Self-published in 2004. So a lot of shit is different now. Now we're in a space where we shouldn't even be involved in anything that could cause you to get indicted. Especially the little bullshit that people waste their lives on. All right? Remember, revolution is love-inspired. Revolutionary change and challenge. Criminality is just criminality. So again, salute voodoo. You dig? Again. Hennessy's. What up? You have to, make decisions on whether your life is more valuable out where you can fight, where you can educate, where you can love on, where you can take care of your family, or to be enslaved behind bars, steal. Still waiting for justice, indictment for my 8-month-old grandbaby killer, side-eyeing the people letting him still run around. He's still out? Come on. What state is that, Queen D? Salute, Horace. That's terrible. That's terrible. You know? So we're going to stop there. New York? And he hasn't been indicted yet and it's out? And he killed an infant? The GOAT, peace. That's an entirely different bill, Queen. And it pains me that you're going through that. We're going to stop right there. Because you see how extensive it gets? So we can have fun on Tuesdays. All right? We can be educated on Tuesdays and y'all can get it. You know, but, you know, like I said, I got to eat. Gotta eat. Y'all know this shit. The gas is fucking $5. So I got to get to doing some sessions. Shit. I gotta eat. I didn't even eat yet. Had to move the car. Had to do all that. Yo, my days kick in. Once I'm up and running. So we're gonna make this a segment. Moderators, hold me to it. Hold me to it. Morning, Carolyn. You gonna listen? I'm gonna tell y'all sisters, man. Y'all better cut them kisses and all that out. I'm telling you. You get the IP address and I'm gonna be knocking right on y'all damn door. Hello. It's like Roscoe. Keep it up. Keep it up. Keep it up. Snot nose, all that. Hello. All right. So yeah, moderators, hold me. Now, Amos, look. Hold me to it. Tuesdays. All right. It's Thug Love Superman. Memoir Day. Memoir Day. Shit, I gotta shave too. I keep telling y'all about letting me present like this, looking all crazy. You know, nasty ass stubble. That ain't cool neither. I gotta get that shit off. Off. I think I'll do that now. I got about 5 or 10 minutes to scrape that shit off. Might do an outspoken if I get doggy on it. All right? I'm good, Queen? All right. I see you, Nemo. What up? See? Y'all be playing around. Hello? Doing the bumpity bump. Come on now. Morosco, y'all. Hard to knocking. Slick Tom. Unsubscribe and then resubscribe and then see if the notifications start getting there. You know? That's how we gonna do it. I love my tribe. That's it. Yeah. Nah. I ain't nah, they be playing. Be playing with me. Be playing with me now. Hey. I'm grown. I'm a daddy. I'm grown. Yeah, keep giggling. All right? So listen, I got to run. Just like y'all be hitting me, yo, hit doggy. Tell me y'all want to talk about this shit that's going viral now with these dudes. We need a build on the community stuff. People turn into criminality to feed their families, and New York City don't care. Well, I told y'all that this was going to happen. And it happened before. History just always repeats when you don't change the conditions. And they threw something in the mix that they really couldn't control. This pandemic shit is causing panic, anxiety. That's why I ask people, yo, come get the anger management. And I don't want to slight what happened. And I feel terrible for the woman's family. But we just had an incident in the city where someone stole this big ass truck and was in Queens just ramming cars on a block, on a dead end block, residential shit, right? Now, I get it. It's people vehicles out there, but you see somebody's not right if they doing that. The woman runs out. And now you want to get into a conflict with this person who's not right and exact. You run out, you unslip his house clothes, your daughter's there, boom. He wows out. And continuously, why would you approach that? One, you're triggered, you're angry, you're emotional because it's your vehicle. A vehicle is a tool. But because of the image, because of what you deem as a necessity, because of whatever, I don't know what she was thinking of. But she runs out there. And what happens? He rams another vehicle, she gets pinned in between and subsequently dies from her injuries. Her daughter watched that, traumatized. We watched it, traumatized. And he just moves on, leaves the truck and keep it moving. She was triggered by whatever was going on up here to run out into danger. If somebody's crazy and they're doing something crazy, that's who they are. And it's not up to you to prove that they're not. Let them go ahead. New York City, we got no fault insurance. Everybody got to pay for their own shit. And maybe you can sue later and get some recovery. But nothing is worth your life. It wasn't a freak accident. That was purposeful, Grump. He purposely did that. If the woman would have just stayed in her home. But this is how we've been triggered. This is how we respond to things. That whole no importance. A vehicle. A curse word. A cutoff on the street. Come on. One of our moderators was sexually groped in the street yesterday in her town by some fool. People are not well up here. They're not. And we have to be cognizant of that. Now, if you're willing to go out there and risk it all for some crazy person, then so be it. Then so be it. Yeah, I saw the uncut version too. Man, that shit was hard. Yo, come on. Not to mention at that very same time on the other side of Queens, a domestic violence incident, dude blew his ex head off. And she was a civilian worker for the police department. I'm telling you, people have lost their goddamn mind. And we have to. Maybe you don't have an anger issue, but you need to come through so you can get tools, so you can assess people who are triggered and going off. That's what anger management is too. It's not only for you, it may be for your loved ones. So you can see it. Domestic violence, so you can see and know what's going on. You may not be sitting in a space where you're going through domestic violence or intimate partner relationship violence, but it could be your daughter, it could be your niece, it could be your aunt, it could be your son. And if you are equipped with what I have, then you can read it and get specific intervention. You dig? So, you know, the crime in the city, it's off the hook. It's off the hook. It's what it is, man. Capitalism created these conditions. Yeah, Justin. Look, I'm abreast of all that. I'm abreast of all these cases, man. Everything. I look and read, and most of that shit is over emotional baggage from a belief that people have of prestige, of ego, of privilege, even though you don't have shit, or of past traumas and lack of nurturing. Yeah, gotta get it done. And that's what the basis of my work is. So I don't have time to bullshit. I don't have time to be begging online and trying to create a false image of who I am and what I do. I'm in the mix. I'm moving. I'm motivating, man. I'm shaking. I do what I have to do because I've been granted the opportunity not to be wasting away in no fucking jail cell. So I have to touch as many people as I can. All right? So again, I love my tribe. You know, hopefully we could be on later. Hopefully we get an outspoken in, you know. How do you do anger management without it wearing on you psychologically? Because I know what I've been through, and I know that there's no wins by me attacking something from a point of anger. So me absorbing and listening to other people and knowing where I was in a particular space, because I needed more than anger management. I was raging. Like I could literally, I can pop somebody's head off without knowing or feeling any of the triggers of anger. That's just who I was. A predator. I was going to get what I wanted from Whitey, right? I was on a different type of time. So therefore I went across the bridge. I was in the Diamond District and on Wall Street, and I was, hunting for big shit. So I know what the penalty would be for me if ever in a specific situation. I got to do my thing. So when people in the community, right, were acting different, I knew what I was ready to do. I knew that. So what I know is never for my people. I wasn't one to be wild and running crazy in your, I grew out of that. That was the adolescent thing when you trying to find yourself and you fighting every day, all day in high schools and, getting it in like that. Once I got to a specific level, what I knew wasn't to project onto my community. That's why I never really had no beef. Like, my beef wasn't for me. I'm going to handle shit for other individuals. I'm not that dude to get into a beef. If you don't like me, you just don't like me. I'm going, you out of here though. If I know that, you out of here. We not playing. We not playing no tag in the street and all that shit. No. I'm waking up with you. Straight up. So as soon as you step out of the bed, yeah, hey, how you doing? We not playing that bullshit. I'm not no nigga like that. We not jawing back and forth. That was never me. So that's what I know who I am. So when I'm listening to other people and I know that they're not that extreme, I'm able to put a plan together to prevent them from being triggered. And because I able to deal with it from our perspective. Melanated people, I can teach and educate into the root cause of our misery here. So I hope I answered that for you, right? So it's different. It's different from me. I can listen and assess and then allow the process to take place. You dig? It's not that I'm going to fully give you direction. Do this, do this, do this. No, we're going to get a plan together. And through that plan, you'll be able to function. Because I'm telling you, nobody owns a monopoly on violence. Nobody. Nobody. And the minute you're not in control and move like that, it could be your last. It could be your last. You dig? We have the ability with our brains to rhyme and reason where other people don't, or other animals don't. They just go into it. They just instinctual. We don't have to live on our instincts because we can use our intelligence. All right? So again, let me rock and roll. Cash App ain't been fluttering. I got to move so I can get into my therapeutic sessions. You dig? I gotta eat. All right? If you need it, I'm telling you, if y'all need the services, please get it. I'm telling you, there's a lot that's going on in this world that is triggering. And if you've never been told, if you never addressed it, that anger, that shit could kill you too. It brings about stress. It pits in your stomach, ulcers, all that shit. Like one of the brothers said, chemtrails. Oh, we're being attacked all over. And when you're not knowledgeable, you dig? Yo. You just at a loss. Dizzy Wavy, salute. Your anger is different. I'm laid back. When I'm triggered, all I see is red. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. A lot of people see different things when they triggered. Some go into a blind rage, some cry. It's a lot of it, but you gotta check it. Gotta check it. You gotta know how to de-escalate from that shit. Alright? So salute. Moderators, keep me on the Tuesdays, yo. Alright? Y'all got Saturdays, now it's Tuesdays. Let's work it. If y'all want me on social media doing what I do, I need help with that because my scheduling is all over the place. All right? Yeah, all right, Carolyn. All right. Salute, salute, salute.